cuts its repo rate by 25 basis points at 7.25% and kept CRR unchanged at 4%. What is your take on the central bank's monetary policy stance?
I think it was the right decision. I think the drop in commodity prices has really meant that inflation in India, WPI inflation, is going to come down fairly sharply in the coming months. And the current account deficit's also probably going to improve. So I think it was the right decision to cut today. And I think the door is now open for further cuts over the course of the year.
Given the RBI's current stance, by how much more do you expect the RBI to cut rate?
Well, potentially another 50 to 75 basis points.
In its macro report yesterday, the Indian central bank mentioned that policy recalibration is possible either way on risks. In your view, is there a case for RBI to actually tighten its monetary policy stance?
Well, I think, the pivot is really commodity prices. I think if commodity prices were, Kathy, to go back up, oil prices back up to $110, $120, I think the chances of more rate cuts quickly narrows. But if commodity prices stay at these lower levels, I think we will see a phased reduction, not in quick succession, but over maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 meetings, we might see 2 or 3 more cuts.
China's economic growth has slowed a little bit, as you said. So what is at stake for Asian economies?
Well, I think it's becoming more and more important, China. So if you think about it, people forget just how much China's grown. This year, it's going to be about a $9 trillion economy. If you go back to 2008, it was $4.5 trillion. So it's literally doubled in the last 5 years. And more and more of its growth is coming internally now, its own domestic consumption. It's not just an assembler anymore that ships its products out to the US and Europe. So a slowdown in China does affect Asia. It affects the big capital exporters to China, such as Japan or a Korea. It affects the big consumer electronic producers like a Taiwan or a Malaysia. And then commodity producers like Indonesia or Australia get affected as well. Now, so China right now is probably not as supportive for the rest of Asia as it used to be. But I think in the long run for the whole of Asia, it's better for China to keep these tighter policies now to avoid a sharp slowdown in China maybe in 2014, 2015 if the debt continued to build up.